Welcome, race fans, back to Deviant Racing for round 3 of season 5.1. We're at glorious Goodwood. The first time I have had the pleasure of commentating at this very track. It's an unusual one to pick a mid-season serious race around. It's the closest thing the UK has to an oval these days, here in the heart of the glorious, beautiful, green and pleasant land, and the home, of course, of the Goodwood Festival of Speed. But this is all about the racetrack today, which is not the hill climb section that you're used to seeing. A lot of historic cars will be used to racing around here, not so much your modern day GT3 and GT4 machinery. Welcome. If you're joining us live, do say hello. I'd love to give you a shout out here on the live broadcast wherever possible. And this is how our championship looks at the moment. On the left side of your screen, you can see that TX Speedstars is the leader of the championship with the overall point scores so far, and Vic, one win between each of them. Vic already getting lots of excuses in today, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Captain Eli is in third place, although he does have 26 points in total. I think we may have our order of scores. These are with the drop scores taken into account. So Eli in third, Zen is in fourth place. We've got Izzy and Preston fifth and sixth, Facia and Glovas, followed by Komakopa, Chaotica and K Morris. K Morris and John Kai are equal on points, although John Kai is below the relegation line potentially. Now, we do, of course, have the race off for promotion relegation, and Dirksey and Thrasher still to really grab a hold of this current championship here at season 5.3. Dirksey, the recent promotee from season 4.3, they're from the GT4 or GTD series. In the team standings, Legend Motor Racing are on top ahead of Team Jetstream. Sugar Rush Racing are third. Team Liquid Death are fourth with perfect pace. Enzo Motorsport and Team Crude Awakening, the 7 total teams, of course, that we have for you. Waiting to hear, of course, after qualifying, what the situation is going to be with regard to our safety car today. Let's get you some cars going along the track, though, as we get ready for that qualifying session. I think we will see lots of drivers in the grass today. It's going to be a very tricky circuit it's low grip offline, and the drivers are just pulling up off the circuit there. I can see we've got Junkai there for Team Crude Awakening in his bright neon pink, heading through that final chicane, which is treacherous and difficult. A very interesting situation. There's actually a grass landing strip there. You can just see in the distance for your general aviation smaller aircraft that are grass landing equipped. Usually fixed landing gear can enable that one, and then a difference between sort of marshland and very neatly trimmed grass surrounds here at Goodwood. Fabulous that we've got this opportunity to take in this circuit today. I hope you're looking forward to it. As we wait then for qualifying to begin, I'd love to hear your predictions here. And what I was going to say about Vic is that he has now officially moved out to Iceland. I think it's short term, I'm not entirely certain, but you can see here the car's just in the car park waiting to get out on track. But yes, Vic has officially moved out to Iceland. There is your ubiquitous Great British red phone box behind the car there, as well as the bathrooms as well. But yes, you wouldn't be anywhere else in the world, would you? Everybody just getting ready for the start of this session. Something has happened to our safety car there. We've got blood spatter all over the front corner of our safety car. We'll get more into that a bit later on. Vic has moved out to Iceland and unfortunately has not been able to take his racing rig with him. So he is getting to grips literally with using controller to race in GT7. So of course he's let me know that he'll be utterly useless today and not be able to defend the championship charge here, and he's not sure whether he will actually be able to get anywhere at all. So setting the bar very, very low for success, I think, today is Vic. And we see the beautiful sunshine here, possibly entering golden hour if such a thing exists in the UK, as we get in towards sunset conditions. Yeah, we will get onto our qualifying session very, very soon as timekeepers and starters stand by. It's not going to do your AMG Mercedes any good, as here we go then in towards the qualifying session. So I'll just get the screen set up and organised, and we will ride with the first car who decides to go out on track. Let's have a look, as it will be. Who have we got? It's Fassiar who's gone out of the pit lane, and it's actually quite a queue already. Looks like he had the preferred situation when it came to heading in. Thanks to Roy Mustang there for the gift. Vic, the new king in the north. Absolutely. Yep, we've got transatlantic, quite literally, situation today. But big thank you to Roy Mustang for the gift there. One of my channel members as well. You can see he's got the star next to his name. Into the St Mary's left-hander here. The only real left-hander on the entire circuit. And we head up to Lavant. As it's an interesting early apex on the power, and then ride the outside of the curve kind of situation. Little kink to the left, nothing to do down Lavant straight here. It's anything but straight, and then onto the far left-hand side of the track for braking into Woodcut, which is kind of the opposite of Lavant corner. It's an open start, tightens, then into the treacherous final chicane. And in practice, I saw plenty of drivers spilling the car, trying to avoid the barriers through that final chicane, and not managing it every single time. Starting the flying lap then and in towards Madgewick corner, and so a nice open right-hander to start things out. Got a clear track behind us, and of course in front, as the helicopter is flying very, very low here at Goodwood, through Ford Water, and then we're entering into this St Mary's section. Actually a slight downhill gradient and tricky braking for a slow left-hander. You do spend so much of this lap at full throttle. Straight back on the power then through Lavant, and down that Lavant straight with the banking on the inside of the circuit. One of the rare sections of gradient change here. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how the drivers tackle this today, as we've got potentially some rain clouds above, but generally speaking quite a bright and sunny day in Goodwood. Pretty breezy though, 5.9 meters per second, now 6 meters per second wind situation. That is Fassiar then, a 110.430, as we'll cut back to Zen. He went into second, but Captain Eli's gone ahead of both of them. Vic has managed fourth place at 110.8. Glovas straight into second place as well. He has had some excellent performances in qualifying so far this season, so good to see, as Dirksey hopefully using some new SimRacing equipment that he won in the competition on my channel. We will see if he manages to get that set up and ready to go. Preston up into 8th position, and then we've just got, I think, Thrasher left to go. Thrasher 11.9, that's a charge lap, nothing serious about that one. Jim saying, let's go. I've never had a bad time with Goodwood. I think everybody has had a bad time with Goodwood, so yeah, I definitely think you're being a touch on the sarcastic side there. Anyway, full power here as the driver in front is just weaving around. This is Captain Eli with the fastest qualifying time. Oh, big understeer moment there. I don't think that was all dirty air from him. We just need to try and shave those tyre barriers. That was one very hairy entry into the pit lane, so we will see. And happy birthday to Jim, apparently. So that's great to see. A very happy birthday to you. This is Fassiar then trying to get back that pole position. It's 4/10 of a second. He's got a deficit, but he's managed to get a purple first sector here, dropping down through the gears. The front end responding very nicely despite the audio signal from the tyres that we've got. Into Lavant corner then. That tight into an opening circuit. We've got Eli, Fassiar, Chaotica, Glovas and Izzy, the top 5 at this point. Hard on the power. I hope, Jim, you've been able to enjoy the sim racing today, and you can compete later. Out onto the curb. Fassiar really maximising this circuit. Didn't quite get all of the left-hand section on the final chicane, but he crosses the line. Oh, that's so close. 109.969, slightly slower than he went before, and not for the first time since I joined the server. Chaotica is sideways into the into the infield. This is Glovas. See a much tighter line on the way through that chicane. That might mean he gets the power down slightly earlier. P4 at the moment. It's a personal best. It's no better for him though, unfortunately, as Izzy's going to make his way into the pits. So full on the throttle here for TX. Usually a very quick driver, of course. And out onto the dirt. The car in front. I think that's Junkai, is it not? Little bit of opposite lock on the way through there. Just losing the adhesion with the front end, but a personal best from TX. Let's go over a seat. Well, Captain Eli's just getting out of everybody's way, I think, here. I'm not sure. I mean, this is technically the outlap start of the next flying lap. So this is going to be a deficit for him right from the start of this lap. Let's check out what Zen's up to. Well, he's going personal best at the moment, but he's an entire second from this short track away from pole position right now. That is a Peugeot going all over the shop in front of him. He'll be hoping that didn't distract and cause him a little bit of a problem there for a moment. Sugar Rush Racing driver. Just check out, we've got a new Sugar Rush livery as well here for Zen, so they'll be in different designs today. That's 3/10, nearly 4/10 of a second then of the 1 second he needs. So P7 is the best he's got so far. Let's see, very close to P6. I would have thought this would be top 4 if he can complete the lap nicely. That is actually only a P6 in the end for Zen. A personal best, but lost a little bit in that final sector. This is on board with Captain Eli. 6 minutes 50 have elapsed. We're going to get plenty of qualifying chances here today. He's already been into the pit lane and put on some new tyres. And that is a much slower lap, but we did see it begin very slowly. Glovas has gone second. Second position for Glovas. Let's see him across his next sector. But that front left looks like it's taken a lot of punishment. Yeah, that is way off the pace now for him. Here is Fassiar on board. And he'll try and just ease in. I think we're heading into the pit lane, are we? That was a very gentle entry. No, we're going to carry on. New soft tyres, of course it's the outlap, so he was just taking it very steadily. Let's join back Captain Eli as he goes through Lavant corner and onto the long straight. Slight hesitation possibly on the throttle. We're doing a-okay so far. Hoping to get an update on that lap. It's 1/10 of a second slower than he has been before. And the very fastest. Oh, I couldn't really make up our mind what gear we wanted to be in there. Through Woodcut into the final chicane then. I guess the only chicane technically. And in for another set of tyres with fewer than 2 minutes left to go. He's going to throw everything at his last attempt here. And this is Glovas at 6th gear, top gear, as we run to the right hand side. Then get into Woodcut, head towards the chicane. Again, asking an awful lot of the front tyres there as we go across the line, starting another flying lap. Back with Fassiar then, we just saw his outlap. It's so quick, these laps. 109.777 for Fassiar, goes into second place, but is still 3/10 of a second away from the outright pace of the race, so of the qualifying session so far. Komakopa is 1.1 seconds away in his posted times. Let's have a look at this lap. Is this a personal best? It's actually 1/10 down right now. Let's go back to Eli. He's in the St Mary's corner section. And into that tight to opening Levant corner, onto the Levant straight. Seem to be getting a little bit of tyre scrub there on the exit, unfortunately, but power down to the max, and then we will run on into Woodcut. Open into a tightening corner. Reminds me a little bit of Big Willow. Very different environs, but just that horrible kind of curved braking on the way into the corner. Way out on the rumble strips for Eli. This is just the outlap, and he's going to cross the line with 15 seconds left to go before this qualifying session officially closes. I would have thought the overage will allow him to get that time in. But at the moment, it's Eli from Facia, Glovas, Chaotica, and TX. Looks like Facia will not to play any further part in today's qualifying session. This is on board with Glovas. That's 2 tyres right on the edge of the grass and asphalt barrier. And that's a really good response from the front end of the car on his way through here. Windshield wiper to the vertical position for the best aerodynamic performance there. That's a personal best from him, from Globas. He only needs a quarter of a second to get onto the front row of the grid. Here we go into the final chicane. That's a narrow entry. Might allow him to get the response of the front end to turn to the left much better, and it's better, but it's not good enough from Globas. It is 0.02 of a second away for the front row of the grid. Eli is slowing. It looks like everybody is now on those cool down laps, and we'll see if anybody is still pushing, but it looks like it's going to be Eli, Facia and Glovas then, our top 3. Dirksey down in 12th position. And yeah, that's everybody else into the pit lane. So it's Eli who has managed to take his Hello Kitty livery up to the fastest time there. The pole position for Captain Eli in the Perfect Power Racing Hello Kitty Aston Martin, the V12 Vantage GT3, a 109.477 for him, ahead of Facia in second place. That's just under 1/10 of a second difference, which is great to see. Globas in third place is just over 1/10 of a second away, so close at the front. Then it's Chaotica in fourth, TX and Zen, with Izzy all within the top 7 within 1 second of each other. Preston in P8, followed by Karmakopa, Vic, Junkai, Dirksey, Thrasher, Saito standing by. Hasn't cleaned the stains off the front of his safety car just yet, but will be getting ready for the race. Safety car on lap 33 today, 33. So well into the second half of the race with these 106, 107 kind of times. What will we see in the race? I wonder what will be the race pace of the drivers as we switch over. That's not normal, actually, to have that happen, but they will have to rebuild the grid then as we get underway for the race. So, yeah, just a reminder to hit something positive under the video today, either a super chat while we're live or one of the good buttons underneath the video today. You can also join the channel on a monthly basis, as Roy Mustang has done. So we very much welcome anyone's ongoing support. I feel like entering the race at the moment. I happen to be in my new 911 GT3R. So, yeah, nobody wants to see that, I'm sure. Required tyres, as usual, the hards and the mediums. Remember that safety car lap 33 as we get ready then for the race. I'd love to hear your predictions today. You can see all the planes lined up there on the sort of taxiway and the perfectly mown grass of the runway in the infield here at Goodwood. So just people being told to check in, and a slightly shouted in there from Chaotica possibly. I think you might be feeling a little bit frustrated. Racing tyres are hards and medium. Those are the required ones, so we must have at least one pit stop. We have seen this season and last that that one pit stop isn't possible, and the way that this track, with all the right-handers that are at relatively high speed and quite long corners, absolutely chewing through the front left tyre, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see the soft tyres, or we end up with 2 sets of mediums and a set of hard tyres today as we get underway. Jim saying Preston is too busy singing happy birthday instead of setting up his car. Yep, that will get you into trouble, I'm sure, as we get ready then for the race, and the third race of 7 here in season 5.1. I'm intrigued as to what's going on with that safety car. Let's see if we can get a closer up view. Yeah, it's not a very close up view, but they've clearly hit somebody wearing that staining as a badge of honour at this stage. I think driver's just getting ready then for the race. I believe. I think he might have just gone out on track, has he? Let's have a look. Yes, he is. so. What is happening today with the livery? I'd love to hear the story of this. Wow, we really have gone all out. This is normally the kind of thing that we would do on a Halloween race. Now, I don't think that is our former driver Larry, but there are some Larry stickers around. Yeah, an interesting situation here. The unsafety car, it has been relabeled. I don't know if this is our Saito's doing here, but yes, he certainly has got a very different look to the car this time. But we'll stay with him, I think, while we enjoy the scenery. Race start in just over 1 minute's time, as we were just informed there from Chaotica. So welcome everybody that has joined us live today. I'm going to just say a big thank you to Roy, to Jim, and to Astonishing. Anybody else that's with us wants a shout out while we're in this intermission? It must be John Kai, okay, by the look on the hat. So what has precipitated this John Kai red eye blood spatter all over the safety car? I need the backstory, and I need it quickly. So if you're watching and you are familiar with what's going on here, do let me know. But yeah, say hello if you're racing with us. Where are you watching us from? Is always a good question. Hi to Binkit watching. Happy birthday, Jimbo. He says. I don't know if Jim enjoys going by Jimbo. From Cali is Binkit. So an early start then for Binkit. Nice. I'm quite jealous of you being in California right now, Binkit. It's been hell of a wet winter for us here in the UK. Could do with some dry heat and some sunshine. We're just in that awkward pause now in between the qualifying and the race. We do seem to have extended this gap a little bit from what we were doing last year. And it does kind of put a bit of pressure on the turnaround for the GTD series that we will see. I think it's saying it's winter and it's 80 degrees today. Too hot. You have no sympathy from me whatsoever. Quite why we're going for a full refueling there for Saito. Not entirely sure. Okay. Well, we're trying out the surroundings, unless we've had a wheel disconnection situation going on. But there you go. You get the Junkai sticker, front and very much centre on the car on the stream today. What exactly are we up to? So we've just driven straight into the barrier. You will see that safety car at lap 33 today. So let me know what you think is going to be the best strategy. If you are not team aligned, or planning to go ahead and race later on. Flying Armin from North Carolina. Awesome. That's mega. Junkai just warming up as well. We are pretty late to the race here, aren't we? It's not just me. It's now 10 past, and we were supposed to start at 11:08, and it looks like we've had a slight issue. I can't seem to get back in, and the race is saying, usually it says that we'll begin shortly, and then it gives you a countdown. Looks like a potential lobby crash, says Roy. I've had to be patient recently, and it has resolved itself on lobbies, but no, you can absolutely expect that we're going to be in a restart situation. So Roy's saying, yeah, it's all being sorted out. Hopefully, we will still get our liveries through. We've had a good look at the liveries so far in the warm-up and the qualifying session, but we'll do our proper livery review, of course, during the safety car period. It can't quite make up its mind, can it? This is like a wheat section, and I'm not quite sure what that structure is. There's presumably some sort of communications array. Yeah. Looks like we've got people leaving, so I'll wait for instructions. I might get instructed to leave and rejoin, but a couple people have left. No message here from anybody. Chaotica would usually give me an on-screen instruction, but I'm sure he's dealing with a lot of inquiries right now. I'll check the race chat as well. Make sure I'm not missing anything important. And there we go. So everything has paused. We'll be right back. Don't worry. I will get us back in as soon as possible. Hey everybody, so we are back very soon. It looks like the wind has turned a complete 180 to an westerly wind, and they're getting ready for a start. Thanks, Danny, for just the indication there as we get underway then momentarily. So we're going into the final, into the race, and round 3 of the championship here at the fabulous Goodwood circuit. Let me get everything ready as quickly as I possibly can, and we'll get ready to race. So it's Captain Eli and Fascia. Eli in a strong position in the championship here. Glovas and Chaotic are on the second row, looking like two strong pink Hello Kitty cars at the front of the race then for Goodwood. And it's dropped the clutch and go, go, go. A little bit of steering movement there from Captain Eli, just trying to get the fronts to bite in. And it's as they were from the very start, the camel livery of Chaotica down the inside into the first corner, and nicely sliding and keeping the car into 5th position. But it's Eli and Glovas who are fighting hard. Glovas has come forward then in the in his Aston, and he's on the hard tyres as well, so a really good start on the hard tyres from him, and we'll be trying to go through as long as possible on those hard tyres with a full tank of fuel here. So it is both the perfect pace cars up front with a huge gap for Captain Eli at the start of the race. Then it's the 2 liquid death cars, Fascia and Speedstars, in 3rd and 4th position. Chaotica, the one to break the pattern here really in P5, with Zen just behind him for the Sugar Rush Wonka chocolate livery today. Then we've got Copa in 7th, Preston in 8th. A very sensible and calm start from everybody. Izzy 9th, Vic 10th, Junkai 11th, Dirksy 12th with Thrasher in 13th, and right at the back there in the second camel car, it's K Morris. Our Saito is in 15th, but look at the gap that Captain Eli has got out front on the medium tyres, so getting a good start here, and it's Fascia who's got himself ahead here of Glovas. Let's see how that one just went down. And I think it was Glovas making a mistake. It was on the exit of the chicane. That won't be the worst mistake we'll see today, I'm sure, through the chicane portion of this circuit, the very end of the circuit. This is the battle over 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th positions. Fascia in that 3rd place, just behind him TX Speedstars and Chaotica. The drivers trying to maximize their run use of the curbs, but the curbs especially at St Mary's here, the left-hander, treacherous. Fascia, a little wiggle on the Mercedes AMG GT3. Behind him TX with a better run, but he won't want to necessarily jump in front of his teammate at this stage. I think the camera angles here at Goodwood are absolutely fantastic. But it's Captain Eli playing the hair to Glovas, and the rest of the field's tortoise approach here, starting on the hard tyres, everybody else. That's a nice move then down from Copa in the BMW Z4 GT3, but unfortunately overspeeding through the next section and off the circuit. That's Copa dropping at least 1 position, but he did get tucked in the inside here. May have got a bit of dirt on the tyres, but he certainly got the second part of the run through nicely. But it's just a lack of positioning, very slight mistake there from Copa, but out on the grass it's a very low grip, and he's down to 9th position now and fighting to hold on to it against Vic, who's getting used to using the controller. He needs to be a little bit more subtle on his inputs than that if he doesn't want to run into difficulty there in the Audi R8 in P10. Preston in 11th in the Benetton colour scheme for Legend Motor Racing team. And then for the Enzo Motorsport, I'm not sure that that historic Ferrari colours have ever used the yellow camel, and behind him the Carambar of Team Sugar Rush Racing for Thrasher in the Peugeot RCZ. Fascia has had a big issue. Fascia has gone completely off the circuit, dropped all the way down to last position. I'm afraid we don't have in the replay buffer exactly what happened to him. So it is still Team Perfect pace. There's a wiper going on for Captain Eli, but I don't see any rain on the circuit. I think he may have just accidentally pressed that button. You'll see on board with him, if we go directly on board, that wiper is either he's using the bonnet or hood cam, or he doesn't mind having that issue on the car. But often I usually see the wiper blades before I see the rain, so I don't think it can actually rain here at Goodwood. There's a slight dent on Glovas's front right corner of the car near the headlight area, so I'm not sure if that has got anything to do with Fassia's demise. You can't quite see it at this angle, but when we saw it earlier, I did think that there was maybe a little crease there on the car. Chaotica in P3, he's made up great positions, so TX slipping back, Chaotica moving forward into P3 now, and remember, we're racing all the way till lap 33 as they cross the line to finish out lap 4, start of lap 5. That's a personal best from Chaotica. His tyres now up to temperature, but Captain Eli's lead in the medium tyres here, 4.6 seconds. I don't think we're going to be in a situation where the hard tyres at the start are going to cost, or even using the mediums at the start, are going to cost anybody particularly dearly, because it's for me it's a nailed on 2, possibly even 3 stop strategy today. Chaotica, TX, and then followed by Zen in the RCZ. This circuit not really getting the best out of here. You see that little symbol on the front nose just above the Toyota badge there for Dirksy? That is the Sensit Haptics logo, because he won the competition to win a Sensit Haptics seat system, and he said I've been helping him just get some settings organised this week, so I'm hoping that he's actually racing with it today, and he'll feel the difference in his tyre management and awareness of what the car is doing with the haptic seat. We've got Izzy in P7, and behind him then in 8th place Junkai, but Izzy is the one looking like the most likely to make a move here, as Dirksy has moved up from near the back of the grid all the way up to P7. Dirksy on the hards, medium tyres for Izzy, and Izzy's racing in VR as well. So he's got a good run through the chicane. Can he get underneath the Chevron liveried Crude Awakening team car of the Supra in front? Not quite, but he definitely looks like he's got some pace at this stage. Of course, his medium tyres will go off faster, celebrating Concorde and BA. Here, of course, Concorde flew under both BA and Air France flags, so he's obviously chosen the British Airways livery in honour of Goodwood, possibly. Izzy seems to be a bit of a fan of aviation here at Team Jetstream. Then Komakopa in P8. We saw him a little bit wide earlier on. Another one of the Benetton colour schemes here for Preston, teammate in Legend Motor Racing. And then we've got Junkai in 10th behind him. Thrasher, again, looking like they might go for a move. Thrasher in the RCZ, the Peugeot, which was the class of the field in 2025 at certain points in the BOP evolution. K Morris in 12th. We've got Vic on controller, down quite far in the order. You can see the car just not responding to his inputs well, because he's on a controller. I don't know if he's using a stick or he's using he's just twisting the controller in his hands. The motion of the wheel. And Fassia all the way down in 14th place, still on his starting tyres. Then there's a big scratch on the front. I think he must have hit the wall, or possibly even hit the chicane barriers there at this stage. So here we have it. Captain Eli, P1, 7.4 seconds. But remember, on the softer tyre compound at this stage. And as Kiros Kai said, Vic slumming it on controller today, and for any other time he chooses to race, I think, for the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, his rig now firmly in storage and didn't fly out to Iceland with him. So Captain Eli in first, Globas in second place. Sometimes drivers who have raced either in VR or in a racing rig, sometimes they think actually it's just not fun without that tech. So we may see Vic decide that he hasn't enjoyed it, and he resigns his post. This still the battle for 6th place. Dirksy ahead of Izzy. Dirksy holding on very nicely indeed. And we'll just have a look here as Izzy has a good look. He was about this close before, but he is maybe just close enough now on the right-hander. They're going to turn right again momentarily, and then it's going to be the left into St Mary's. There's barely on the brakes here, and then it's that heavy braking zone very quickly in the slightly twisting situation where the car is slightly unbalanced on one side of the centre of gravity as you slam the brakes on for St Mary's. But yeah, he didn't manage to get by in time, and that's the first 10 minutes of the race done and dusted, and we are 8 laps deep. So it's a 1 minute 12 is the lap times that Izzy here is circulating with. Oh, there's a big lift going on into the Woodcut corner before the chicane. A lot of lifting and coasting there from Izzy, but that really helped him, paid dividends on his way out as he managed to get the power down in this Audi. Of course, if you are running directly behind another driver, sometimes lifting and coasting can be a big advantage because you can save fuel and you can just continually get the slipstream on the car in front. Once again, we see them side by side here in the first sector of the racetrack. I think Izzy is closer than he's been before. I think he's got the nose slightly ahead. We'll see as they go into the left-hander of St Mary's, and that's Izzy through in the BA-sponsored Audi R8. Very nice run from Izzy. That was huge patience from him. As he continues, they did make contact. I don't think there's anything serious in that one between them. And there you can see Dirks. He did have to just lift off the circuit, off the power for a moment there. He's got L3 Harris and Raytheon as sponsors as well. So it's a little bit confusing because he's got Concorde, Airbus, Raytheon, lots of different aviation stickers he's found in the box there. So the 6, 7, 8 is now Izzy, Dirksy, and Comacopa. Comacopa gaining a little bit there on this battle, thanks to them going side by side for such a long period. Eli still leading from Glovas and Chaotica. Riello looks like the kind of tabloid junkie celebrity gossip magazine Hello in the UK here. The Riello sponsor on the front. I've had to look at that 3 times before I registered exactly who the sponsor was. It's Captain Eli, 11 seconds now clear in the for Team Perfect Pace Racing in the Hello Kitty Aston Martin. Remember, on a different strategy to his teammate, as we watch Chaotica now, who started down, I think, in 5th or 6th position and is moving his way slowly but surely forward with some great consistency. Beautiful sunlight effects glistening off these race cars as he tries to get the best out of this Ferrari. You can absolutely stamp on the throttle. As soon as you're confident the right-hand side is collecting on the curb and not the grass, you can really push the throttle down aggressively out of the chicane. And this is Chaotica in P3 and pressurizing Glovas, 4.5 tenths of a second between the two of them. Just checking on Zen there on his own, unfortunately for him. I'm sure that's going to be a very boring time for him. 7 seconds away from the podium at the moment, but 3.6 seconds away from TX. It's amazing how the midfield has spread out this race, and yet the battle for P2 is still very much on. Let's ride chase view for a few moments then with Chaotica. Should get a good slipstream here today. Preston and Junkai had some contact. Probably can't see it though. By the time I get your chat, it's probably a good 40 to 45 seconds delayed, unfortunately. I will go and have a look at that in a moment though. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to get that in the replay, sadly. Let's go see where they are on track at the moment though. That's Comacopa in 8th, Thrasher in 9th. K Morris then in P10, chasing down Thrasher. This could be interesting. Looks like Fassiar from 14th there has got himself up to 11th place, has managed to overtake Vic. It is a shame that Vic hasn't been able to get that rig into his new location. It did look like a beautiful view he's got out of the window though to cheer him up. But yes, K Morris chasing Thrasher here. Both of the Ferraris are very much looking for opportunities to overtake right now. Fassiar with the scratched up front right of his AMG Liquid Death car. Vic down in P12. And, well, not exactly going flying. He's very much going lawn mowing at this stage. So you can see just the twitchy nature of a driver who is currently racing on controller. And here is John Kai then and Preston side by side. I wonder if we'll see any more action between the two of them, because we're being told by our pit lane reporter Kuros Kai that they got into it and clashed. Kuros Kai, our Saito, our safety car driver. I'm not quite sure. I guess Kuros Kai's in the team radio right now as the 85 Supra chases down the number 5 Z4, and they've got Vic still in their sights here as they come into the right-hander of Madgwick corner. Excuse me, into Woodcut actually, as it is, and that is onto the grass for the BMW, but it didn't cost him too much. All about your exit from the chicane, and both cars got a fairly equal exit. Sun continuing to drop here behind the horizon, and they are really catching Vic at a great rate of knots. Vic just cannot seem to control the car here, and onto the grass. Seems to want to spend more time on the grass than on the asphalt. Oh wow, thank you so much, Kuros Kai. What a generous gift there. That's amazing. Here comes Preston round the outside. Wow, that was bravery, and he's straight back on the outside again. So he did a fantastic job to get the overlap, but it cost him, I think, a little bit in terms of track position. They come together again, and then you'll see as he tries to turn in, huge understeer, just an overspeed situation. It looked like he'd held it, but then of course into St Mary's, and unfortunately that is all gone wrong for the Crude Awakening driver. Back to P1, let's just check in. Yep, windshield wipers still going. So there we go. Kuros Kai asking me to show him in a good light. Okay, I'll do my best, but I very much appreciate the gift there. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. It's Glovas in P2 with Chaotica out in P3. There is still 4 minutes on the clock for the chat goal, super chat goal at the moment. Yeah, absolutely fabulous to see. 13.5 seconds is the lead for Captain Eli over his teammate. How are his medium tyres holding up? Well, they're going to give up pretty soon by the look of things. That front left does look a little on the dodgy side, as Chaotica just 1.2 seconds away. That's a tyre change, I think, for the drivers at the tail of the field. Let's just check in on them. That's Vic on the mediums. That's John Kai on the mediums. They've blinked quite early in the pit stop in the strategy, you'd have to say. There they go. So they're on brand new medium tyres. It looks like their car's not treating their tyres as well as perhaps other cars in the field. You can see a beautiful indication there of Glovas and the tiny little amount of wheel slip that was happening. The fastest way to drive a GT3 is with that faint trace of wheel slip into the corners, and Glovas demonstrating great car control there. This is Vic trying to unlap himself, I think, as Chaotica is making his way by. Vic is focused, I think, mostly on Junkai. He won't be feeling particularly happy. Oh, it's actually fuel limited for the drivers here with so much of the lap at full throttle. We are not even at 1/3 distance, and the drivers are already pitting for fuel. So that could force drivers' hands. And here comes Chaotica into the pit lane then. One of the lead drivers who's now the first to pit in the lead group. So he's run out of fuel. Compare that to the Aston Martins, who are just around or under 1/4 of a tank. The Ferrari has been a thirsty beast today, and we want to get down to a 20-minute portion, so we can at least make it a 2-stop race rather than a 3. But it could be a 3-stopper unless drivers can turn down their engines significantly. I'm sure everybody whacks their engine all the way up to fuel mix 6, which is the leanest mix during the safety car, and runs around in 6th gear, but there's a limit to how much you can actually save on the way through. Captain Eli ahead of Glovas then. The two perfect pace racing drivers absolutely in command here at Goodwood today. Then we've got Zen, some 9 seconds away from Globas. In third at the moment, but we're still waiting on those pit stops. Looks like the Peugeot doing pretty well on its fuel. Izzy seems to be managing his fuel very well as well here in the Audi R8. I'd love to give this Audi a try, actually. I don't think I've ever driven it. It just looks and sounds like an absolutely fabulous race car. So, yeah, that's Captain Eli, our leader, into the pits now as well. Is he just struggling through the chicane comparatively to Speedstars? This is a battle for position. We have seen some lapping already, but TX for Liquid Death, still with his karting helmet on. So many drivers take part in the Friday beer carts series that they forget to change their overalls and their helmet design back again for our GTDPRO race. So it's always funny to see these faces on the helmets. I'm going to do some karting on Wednesday actually for the web state, which I think is 3 p.m. EST on Wednesday. So feel free to come along and join if you happen to be available. It's Izzy in 4th and TX in 5th place. We'll join TX on board, shall we, as we have a look. Just check our left mirror, check our right mirror. We can't because there's something completely blocking the way. The wind has rotated round in a clockwise direction to be almost a northerly wind now, and the drivers won't all have been really monitoring that, especially those in VR who have no idea what the wind direction is doing. They have no race information like that. And oh, that's into the pit lane, and you do not want to be that close to the car in front at all, because that is very, very scary moment there on the way in, because that wall barrier rises up to greet you in no uncertain terms. The Toyota Supra also one of the last ones to pit, but these drivers will be pretty relieved they've got through that first 20-minute period of this round. Dirksey looking good actually out there, possibly his best race of the season so far since being promoted and earning his promotion. So we will see if he can secure a good result by the end of today's hour race. There's 38.5 minutes left to go in this race, but we're still waiting. Of course, we're only halfway through to the safety car period, which is lap 33 out into the deep into the second third of our race, if not the actual cutoff. Glovas pits from the lead of the race. Will that promote Zen, I wonder? Zen is going to pit as well, in fact, and come on into the pit lane. So Captain Eli will take his lead back very comfortably. Of course, he had a 13-second lead before the pit stop, so he's doing a fabulous job so far. Of course, all that lead is going to be eradicated, and he needs to not get too large of a gap there. Out of the pit lane comes Glovas. He'll have a quick check of the mirrors, and Chaotica's not far away, and not a huge difference, but I think Glovas is stretched away slightly from Chaotica. Glovas has come out on the medium tyres, so he still has to use the hards at the end of this race. That's going to put him in an interesting position. I'm slightly confused why you would do that when you have track position and everyone is doing a very similar strategy. Why would you make yourself have to use the hards at the end of the race when you've got the option to fit them now? And of course, on the hard tyres, you will have the situation where some drivers will be on softer tyres in the final portion of the race when all the competitors are grouped together. I'm sure Zen will leave me a full explanation of why exactly you would do that. But if you're watching live, let me know why you would potentially voluntarily put those tyres on. For me, this is the strat for Eli. He's had a sprint first part of the race, a sprint final part of the race, and having built the lead, he's got the comfort of being able to just use those hard tyres and just hold track position, try not to have any drama out there while passing other cars. The clouds have overcast the sky, or the sun has gone completely down. We may be finishing in sunset conditions here at Goodwood. Zen is 28.5 seconds away from the lead of the race at this stage. Nice chrome wheels on the cars. We've got Izzy and TX. Izzy on the inside here in the Audi. And looks like TX nibbling away at the rear. And that is off on the grass slightly. saving it very nicely though. That was great from him. Not so great in the build-up, but he went to the outside. Izzy just perhaps didn't see him there in the blind spot. Then he tries to cut back, and watch this on the right-hand side of the car as he gets onto the grass, tries to cut the lane, and then a nice hold in the end. Good hold from him, from TX. So he's looking angry there with the helmet and the yellow skulls on the car as well. But is he holding him off at this stage? So if you have just got a notification that GTD will be on in 30 minutes, it won't be on in 30 minutes. We'll get it on as quickly as we can, but it will be late. Now that's really interesting as TX goes right around the outside. I think Izzy must have let him go there slightly and lifted. We'll have a quick look at that again, because that did look like Izzy either missed a gear, was a little bump from behind, and I think Izzy might have got tired of the pressure there and decided that his race is not well run by having this situation where they're both slowing down. So I think he may have given that place up voluntarily, just to, you know, conserve the car, conserve track position at this stage, and not get into too many dramas. The last thing you want to do in an hour of racing is get too involved in an incident and end up right at the back of the grid, which is not good for your strategy. Medium tyres on TX's car, hards on Izzy further convinces me that was a deliberate release there from Izzy. And here is the Benetton, famous F1 Legend Motor Racing design, translated onto a BMW Z4 here for Comacope. He didn't give me a preview of it this week, so it's nice to be surprised as well and to see it out there. We'll, as I say, as usual, we will do a full livery review, and you can let me know your thoughts while we do that up onto lap 33. But for now, it's lap 21. Eli leads Globas and Chaotica, much as it has been since turn 1. But here is TX, Izzy and Comacope providing plenty of entertainment as usual as they continue around this punishing Goodwood circuit. It's hard. One of the hardest things I think about Goodwood is that you do tend to get lost where you are on track. If you don't have all the track information up on the screen and have memorized all the trackside furniture and differences, it really is difficult to remember where you are at for an entire hour. This is into St Mary's, the left-hander that catches people out nearly all the time. Dirks is catching this group as well. I think you can see them up ahead. Let's just check. Well, it's a bit distant, but he can see what he's chasing, and that does help a racing driver. And Thrasher holding off there. Thrasher in the RCZ with Facia then, who has got the pace to be right up the front. That's great defense from Thrasher, holding firm on the inside line. Pretty much if you keep the right hand side of the track around Goodwood, you're pretty much in a good position. So that's what he's doing in the middle of the track now on the run through the right hander of Woodcut into the chicane. Just focus on your exit. We've got worse chicanes in GT7, but there aren't many. I'm thinking of turn 1 Monza, and I'm thinking of the death chicane at Dragon Trail, but this one is particularly brutal, completely unsighted through that chicane, and of course you can then be greeted by the pit wall as well. Fascinating run here. We've got Facia right behind Thrasher. Facia and Thrasher both on the medium tyres at this stage. Facia though with the qualifying pace at least to show much quicker, much further up the field. The 61 and peeling across to the inside there as they run through that Lavant corner and back onto the straightaway. Plenty of crowd watching on to enjoy this Goodwood race. Haven't seen many cars with penalties actually. Even though we've seen drivers with a wheel or two on the grass, we haven't seen that many time penalties being given. Behind this group, K Morris, 6.2 seconds. K Morris still with us with his Jamaican internet. So long may that continue. Captain Eli, fastest lap, 110.175, and he still leads this race. And he's really making this look rather easy at this stage, isn't he? So he's definitely got the car dialed in, put in plenty of practice, And yeah, look at the glinting sun off these race cars and the racing line as well, just guiding the cars on that run as we head in towards the view of the setting sun. And the wind has moved again back to the west. This is important because these long punishing corners are going to unsettle the cars at different times around the circuit. And if you're not keeping a close eye, Captain Eli into the pits and back out again on the soft tyres now. So I think he might be just having a bit of fun out there. Here he is on brand new soft tyres, didn't put any fuel on, just wants to have a bit of a sprint, have a bit of fun, and he's got Globas not far ahead of him as well. So we'll just go back to this battle now. Komakopa against Izzy, both in VR, these drivers, as is, I believe, Preston. So there is a slight disadvantage, but a great advantage in terms of enjoyment. The next thing we've got to get Dirksy doing, now he's got his haptic seat, is to be running running that. Ask Dirksy how he's finding it as well, but you can find a link to that, and it helps me a little bit if you buy and keep your Sensit haptic system. I do get a little kickback, and I'll try and reciprocate to everybody, but I honestly think it's a really big difference maker. I wouldn't say that if I didn't think it, and the company actually asked me specifically for my honest feedback. So yeah, don't think I'm just shilling out for someone who's paid me money. I'm not on a sponsorship deal, it's just affiliation. Komakopa in P7 following Izzy, and behind them also Dirksy as well. There is Dirksy in the Supra. And in front is TX. So TX does seem to be struggling right now on the medium tyres, trying to make them last here. It's lap 25, and we're going to 33 for the safety car. That is probably on the very outer edge there. Saito says Dirksy loves it, but he's also in VR. That's amazing. Oh wow, that's so cool, Saito. Great stuff. Yeah. I think you have to try it to really appreciate it, but being able to feel what each wheel is doing individually is something very different. The founder of the company was actually a racing driver, so he designed it because he missed the feel in his race car when he was sim racing. Fascia out in 9th place. Remember, he's come back from 14th and a big accident early on, and he's back up to 9th now, slowly but surely coming forward in the race. And I imagine that the safety car period can't come soon enough for Fascia in the 61. These race cars do look absolutely fantastic in this Goodwood sunshine. Back to a quick check on the leader on the soft tyres, already past Globas and put in a 3.5 second gap already. He's just playing with everybody here. He did switch to the hard tyres. I thought he would just use the hard tyres through to the end of the stint, but no, he went in straight away onto the soft tyres, got off the hard tyres very quickly, and is now sprinting and has managed a 1:09.378. And as usual, I have to say, I think many drivers would have taken that in qualifying. So a fabulous, and he's on another hot one here on the right-hander through Levant corner, through Woodcut, and to finish out the lap into the chicane. Oh, and that's spoilt it just as we're watching. Sorry, Eli. But that spoilt the lap. It's given him something else to focus on then. But I think the next lap will be ruined as well. So there you have it. Pushing hard. Perhaps a touch too hard there. That's not going to affect his race too severely. Chaotica is in P3 and Zen is in 4th. We have TX in 5th, not far away. I think 3.3 seconds further back is Izzy in 6th place. Komakopa, Izzy's shadow throughout this race, and through the chicane we go, finishing out lap 27. Dirksy running through as well. Fascia on the outside edge as well. He can see 3 cars ahead of him at any given time, but still a big ask to try and close that gap before the safety car period. K. Morris just cooling off his tyres on some grass and dirt. I'm not sure that's super advisable, but it didn't cost him too much. The personal best time there from K. Morris in 10th place. Preston is 11th in the Benetton tribute livery. and Junkai in 12th place. Thrasher out in 13th. He's on the mediums right now, and Vic, chewing through those medium tyres, has been given the blue flag. So that looks like Zen in the Wonka livery coming through. So Eli, I do think the chicane will be particularly difficult using a controller. There are some times when the controllers do make life a little bit easier, especially when it comes to catching spins. But in terms of feel and joy and satisfaction of driving, it leaves a lot to be desired when you have been a SimRig driver. There's that windshield wiper. I must say, Captain Eli must be a front fender or hood cam driver by the look of things, because you couldn't put up with that wiper on the whole time, could you? Look at this inside. I mean, that is really obscuring of the view that you're going through. So if you are cockpit or VR, that would drive you absolutely nuts. If you are a chase view, it's not a problem. Just catching a slide again. I think he is out there having an awful lot of fun. Let's see what this lap comes to for Eli. It's 0.4 of a second further back. We haven't seen a lot of Zen. He's been a little bit on his own. He's now 10 seconds away from the podium, and he's just lapped, I want to say, the Jetstream car in the BA livery, and we've got TX in 5th, 5.7 gap behind him to Izzy, but they're all just waiting on the safety car lap now, really. I don't think anybody is pushing particularly hard unless they're going for that fastest lap, like our leader, Captain Eli, who's made one more pit stop than most everybody else. We'll see some pit stops start to happen very soon, I think. When we go round under the safety car and the drivers are using hard tyres to the end, I think we're into the final pit stop window. There isn't an official window, but the practical pit stop window. Look at that great view at Goodwood here. And there is Karma Copa. 0.3 of a second, the gap behind to the Supra of Team Crude Awakenings driver Dirksey. As I said, recent promotee from GTD. Don't forget, we will be going into the GTD race as quickly as possible, but I do think it's hosted by the same Chaotica that's hosting this race, so I don't think there's any danger of it starting too quickly. Roy's saying Eli's windshield wiper is always on. Bit of a trademark for him. Okay, that's good to know. And this is shaping up to be a really interesting battle now. Kira's saying it's basically him brushing his shoulder, John Cena style, because the race is so easy to him. Well, it would have been so much more interesting had Facia been able to live with the perfect pace racing cars up front, but sadly something went wrong off screen and he was down to plumb last. Here we go then. He does appear to have absolutely bags of pace as we tackle Dirksey first, and the right-hander going into the left of St Mary's coming up. This is through Ford Water, and then the left of St Mary's. A little bit of a dip in the gradient, then back over a crest again. There is actually a rally circuit at Goodwood. I would love if they'd have brought the Goodwood hill climb and the rally circuit, the Forest Rally, into the game. Got some pretty obvious upgrades we can make to tracks for GT7. There's a rallycross circuit at Yas Marina. There's a rallycross circuit at Brands Hatch. You can actually get a car onto the part of the rallycross circuit at Yas Marina, but you've got the fabulous Barcelona rallycross track, and you could have a whole gamut of these if you used them. Lap 31 into the pit lane then for the midfield. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all into the pits. Chaotica is back out on brand new mediums, full tank of fuel to get him through to the end, he hopes. Everybody else has made their way in, so they're all waiting on that safety car lap. Looks like it is very much the strategy to go for. This is Preston with a slightly different take. Oh, Preston punching the pit wall there. That would be game over for if you were in the real life cockpit. So that is very troublesome. We've got a slight crack on the rear light array there of Vic. You can see. And we're waiting then for Saito to decide to come on out of the pit lane. I think he's on his way now, in fact. He's watching where the rest of the field are. And if you weren't watching earlier on, this is a very strange situation. We've got Junkai's face and a whole lot of bloodstains and dirt on the safety car has appeared in the intervening period. I wonder if something happened during our during the midweek racing, because this is new and has come without explanation. The unsafety car now in the UK police car colours as well. So Saito waiting to pick up. I think that's Thrasher. He's just arrived, but Thrasher will get waved on by, I think. Off you go. There we go. Past he goes. Vic's in as well. So it is lap 33 for the leader. And here comes Captain Eli. He hasn't caught the safety car yet. Today, Team Perfect. That's perfect with a U and 2 R's. Perfect Pace Racing going for a Hello Kitty theme today. I don't know if there are any daughters or children that are particular fans of the team that influence this one. We've seen this, we've seen it before, where we suddenly go pink for a family member's birthday or something like that. But it's a nice livery. It's been well thought out here as the lapped car goes by, and it's Captain Eli then. Medium tyres, full tank of fuel to see us home to a finish. The number 66, and we've got then Glovas. And this is, I can confirm this is a Glovas livery, as usual there with the back window. A nice celebration of the old camel yellow, made famous by Lotus, Team Lotus in F1. Ayrton Senna raced a bright yellow camel car, and Camel were the sponsor then of Williams later on, the top half of the airbox. So evocative of racing history. We've gone for a Wonka bar view, as well as nerds, gobstoppers, and all sorts here with a little Webbo sticker. I appreciate that, and the golden ticket on the roof. We found a lot of Wonka stickers in the in the supply here, including Willy Wonka on the roof there as well. So this is Team Sugar Rush Racing, free candy. Hopefully we're not we're not going to be in a child catcher situation, but Team Sugar Rush with their new livery on one of the cars. They haven't had time to wrap the other car yet. Liquid Death, I think, unchanged this round, but starting to become quite iconic now on the circuit, and very sympathetic to the lines of the AMG Mercedes as well. Then we've got the British Airways Concorde A380 livery of the Jetstream driver Izzy. And they've worked very hard at this one. I do enjoy it. I work tangentially in the aviation industry as a day job, so I can appreciate all the little details there, including, as I said, Raytheon on the back of the car. Then we've got the Sensit Haptics sponsored chevron of Dirksey there in his Crude Awakening livery. Just a small sticker change this time out. This is a really cool one from Comacopa. I hope it's not completely out the box, and he's done a little bit of work to it himself, but he's found some great sponsors, and of course that famous paintbrush effect on the back as well. It's maybe not the most cohesive design in racing history, but it's certainly legendary, so we'll absolutely accept that one. Right, with the camel, and then with the bright pink Exxon livery for Junkai. He hasn't gone for a Junkai face sticker like the safety car has. Sorry, the unsafety car. This is perhaps slightly more famous Benetton livery. Before Benetton were a World Championship racing team. This is very early days in their racing history in F1. But again, very primary colour. Can't miss it on the circuit. The Karam bar with the yellow and red stripes. We've seen this for a number of races now, and I think we'll be switching over to the Wonka livery soon. And finally, we've got another BA Jetstream racing car. I think we're back under starters orders. We are. It's green flag with 16 minutes and 20 to go. Eli in the lead of the race on the medium tyres. Glovas is also on the same strategy right now. So they should be able to finish this race. The perfect pace racing drivers haven't remembered to turn the blinkers off, but we'll forgive him for now anyway, as Chaotica with the heat haze over the racetrack. He comes through and he's in third place. Zen ahead of TX, and everybody, nearly everybody I imagine, now on the medium tyres for this final stint of our 1 hour race around glorious Goodwood. Izzy in the Audi is in P6. Dirksy's not far behind. So great sunset effects on the cars as well. And the car's not looking too grubby either. They often at the end of the race start looking quite mucky, but it's not a particularly grimy circuit. So yeah, they've been able to largely stay out of trouble. There goes John Kai down the inside. Is it of K Morris? That was a neat and tidy move from him. John Kai on those medium tyres. Let's have another look at that one and how it built up. We've managed to get almost alongside on the run through here. That was keeping the foot planted and then just holding firm as you run into Woodcut before the chicane, and knowing that he's got that inside line, doesn't overextend himself on the brakes, and he's through. And then he just had to stitch together the final chicane as well to make it happen and complete the move. But Junkai in 10th. Then we've got K Morris in 11th, as we just saw. Thrasher in 12th. Preston in 13th. And Vic trying to get on terms with racing on a controller again in P14. Eli leads by 1.1 seconds. He has been completely dominant so far this race. Slight difference on the diffuser pattern actually between the two cars. Glovas has a black diffuser and Captain Eli has one more in keeping with his livery right now. Chaotica trying to stay with the lead two just in case they come into any difficulty, and he can pick up an extra position, but looking good for the podium. And Zen is has got TX right behind him and looking threatening right now. So it's almost dark. Some patches of the racetrack here at the on the eastern side of the racetrack, behind the tree line. That is going to start affecting our drivers with their view, especially as they head due west, which they just were. Now they've turned towards the north, so they're out of range of that setting sun. You can see this is a great way of seeing the cars and their slip angle as they come through this left-hander into St Mary's. John Kai is absolutely a man on a mission right now, and he's looking like he is about to make the overtake here. Vassiar has got himself into 9th. He was 10th earlier. He was all the way down in 14th, but with a lot still to play for. 9.9 seconds away from the lead of the race, but they won't be thinking about that right now. It's just, can we get the next place in front, and onwards and onwards through the next 13 racing minutes. Vassiar moving around quite a bit on the approach through that Woodcut corner. Down into the chicane now. That was Junkai focusing on his exit, giving up a little bit on entry, and behind him as the headlights on of the Lotus coloured Enzo Motorsport Ferrari. Very different lines going through these corners right now. That is Vassiar chasing down Copa, who I think will be hoping for more than 8th out of today's race. But the longer he spends trying to hold up Vassiar, the lower his chances are of actually making that happen. So turning right and then left into St Mary's as the cars just start to slide around slightly here in the setting sun. Temperatures will be dropping on the race circuit as well. Now that is all important factors. 12 minutes to go now on the clock. Vassiar with time running out to get back near that podium where he really belongs on his qualifying pace. Super close here as Copa blocks the overtake legally onto the inside line, holding firm on the middle and right hand side of the racetrack as they head through Woodcut into the chicane. A slight wiggle from Copa, that is going to hurt him on the way out of the chicane. But it's all looking quite hard fought and close here in this in the midfield of the GTDPRO top tier of racing here at Deviant Racing League. The 5th year of racing. This is season 5.1. We run 3 mini seasons per year, so plenty to fight over. Just getting the right hand side of the car tipped up. If you do want to join the racing here at Deviant, it's not just these 2 headline races at the on a Sunday. There are various races throughout the week, usually suiting EST or at least USA time zones. Particularly, much to my dismay, beer carts on a Friday, which I don't get to compete on or hang out. But there's fun and serious racing here at Deviant Racing League. There should be a link to the Deviant Racing channel in the description of today's video, so get yourself in and registered and join if you want to race with the crew here. Vic out at the tail of the field. This has got to be a pretty unhappy race for him, but he's racing for his team really here, making sure that his team are well represented. This is Glover still with the hazard lights on right now in the Aston Martin, but watching his teammate become a disappearing dot on the horizon. Chaotica is no longer pressurizing Globas, and he has Zen for company. Not just Zen, but TX as well. So another close battle here for the 3rd step and final step of the podium. You've got Chaotica, Zen, and TX 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions. A nice pink sky here for the Hello Kitty liveries to enjoy and match. Lizzie in P6, Dirksy in 7th, followed by Koma Copa. Now John Kai. Facial's lost a position there to John Kai. Is there an overtake or a mistake potentially? We can't catch it in the replay buff. I'm sorry to say. We do have to watch other people sometimes, and as soon as we do, then there's drama. But that is racing. Unfortunately, it's John Kai at P9. Facial tagging onto the back of this, as are K Morris and crew behind. But I just wanted to watch this battle for a few minutes. This is the battle over P3. I think the front 2 are pretty much decided, unless we get some late race drama with 8 3/4 minutes left to go. To say, everything looking very good here at Goodwood. You can see some of the marbles picking up on the outside of the circuit, being put down, I should say, on the outside of the racing line there through the Lavant corner onto the longest straightaway now as we approach Woodcut. It's wide from TX. That will help him pick up the curb on the right through the second part. I think Zen actually just brush the wall there on the way through? Let's try and get a good view of that as he comes through the chicane. Apologies for the amount of time it's going to take to actually get there, but we'll see if he caught the wall on this left-hand side. Oof. Well, it didn't look like it on the replay, but it did look like it on the, and it sounded like he did on the replay as well. So I don't know if we've got a little touch of netcode there for Zen. Might need to leave an extra inch to the barrier, perhaps, just for safety. Lick of flame out the back of the Peugeot. 7 minutes 20 still to go, and certainly TX is eyeing up a potential podium here for Liquid Death. While his teammate Facial has had some trouble, he'll certainly be hoping to try and minimise the losses today. Individually, you can drop 1 score, of course, for your worst score through the 7 that we have in each mini season. But as far as the team is concerned, you never know what the worst team score is going to be, so trying to collect those all-important points. The 3 here fighting over 3rd are absolutely nose to tail, and I'm sure pushing to the maximum here, try and get these cars home. I don't know if we will get anybody running out of fuel. That is a distinct possibility today. Dirksy just 1 second behind Izzy. Behind him, we've got Fassiar, who has made his way back past John Kite. Akoma Copa has slipped from something like, I want to say, 6th earlier on in the race, down to 10th now. And that's going to hurt the BMW Legend Motor Racing team in their bid for the points. Akoma Copa is actually the lead driver of his team. Excuse me. The lead driver of his team today. Just take a drink. So it's not going to be a successful day for the Legend Motor Racing team. Blinkers indicators still on for Dirksey, unfortunately, but in VR you've no idea. So, I mean, the fact that he remembered to turn them on is probably probably a good thing, and to his credit. Fassiar now in 8th, 14th to 8th. Is that the maximum he can extract from this race today? I wonder. And we'll go back up and check out what's happening there in that triplicate here for the P3, 4, 5. TX having got by. We just seem to be missing all the overtakes today as we try and give everybody fair amounts of screen time, and unfortunately just keep overtaking when they're off screen. It's TX now in front of Chaotica. So Liquid Death will be hoping to get at least one car on the podium out of today. That hasn't been the most successful of their days, unfortunately. 4 minutes 45 to go. Captain Eli and Globus still well in the lead and well in control at the top. Can anybody stop Captain Eli this season, I wonder? It would have been Vic. I have to say, I wonder if Vic will start looking into shipping prices and of his sim rig, and seeing if he can get it out to Iceland now after this race. The team needs you, Vic, it looks like, and so does the championship. So yeah, hopefully we can figure that out, because it'd be great to have him back. It's not right to see Vic racing around at the back of the grid. Now that Chaotica has been passed by Fassiar, he is dropping back at an alarming rate. I think he might have had to turn the engine down. I'm just looking at his fuel, and I wonder if he's playing the smarter game here. TX closing in on Zen. These two drivers aren't really thinking about making their fuel last any longer. They've got about a quarter of a tank left to go. It's pretty much even between the two of them. It's lap 45. There's a lot of laps today, thanks to the short lap times. But it's no less punishing on the tyre. We end up with lots of laps and lots of front left tyre wear as a result of this circuit configuration. It's a 1:11.0 for TX. All of his previous lap times have wiped off the board, unfortunately. Zen's fastest, a 1:10.5. We know Captain Eli has the fastest, a 1:09.3, over a second faster than Zen at their absolute fastest. That was set on soft tyres, I must say, by Captain Eli. And no shade on anybody. That is just pure Captain Eli pace. What have we got going on here? Glovas, it is. I thought we had Captain Eli and Glovas close together, but it's Captain Eli putting another lap on his championship rival, really, Vic, out there, unfortunately. We have Zen holding firm at the moment, but by only 0.4 of a second from TX Speedstars as we get into the final 2 minutes to go. Let me know who you guys have got on the Super Bowl today. It's my two favourite NFL teams are up against each other, so it's going to be a very interesting watch. I don't think I'll be staying up. I think I will try and catch it tomorrow, my time. Who are you pulling for? Have you put money on anybody? Anyway, it is TX in P4, Zen in P3. As we finish out this race, we're getting down in towards the final couple of laps now. We'll be far away. Chaotica just getting back on terms here with the cars in front. I wonder if he just spent a couple of laps with the engine turned down slightly, but he's certainly managing to catch them now. So they may be deciding to do similarly right at this stage. Is he still holding on ahead of Fassiar, who's made his way all the way up to 7th now? Jonkai's got into great position in P8. Shame about Dirksey having dropped back here, but I think by the look of the speed difference as Komakopa comes by Dirksey, I wonder if he's thinking about fuel as well, because that is not natural speed difference between BOP managed GT3 cars. That's balanced performance management there. So that is not a natural speed difference. That may well be Dirksey just trying to get home here on the fuel he's got left. The Supra probably not the most thirsty of the cars, but he feels like he needs that extra wiggle room. K Morris has probably the least fuel of anybody on the circuit at the moment in 12th, and Preston is in 13th place. That's Vic. That's Vic way off, exploring the grass infield, how much he can get away with without being caught out. And I know he's a Jetstream driver, but he doesn't need to take to the air like that. And he's watching his mirrors, just trying to make sure he doesn't get in anybody else's way, pretty much. 5 seconds the lead for Captain Eli, ahead of Glovas in P2 for Team Perfect Pace Racing. There's 5 seconds to go here. The clock has gone dead. I think that will mean, as he's already weaving on the way through, try not to chuck a race away there, Captain Eli. And he's going to go by then and win in Goodwood. Captain Eli once again on the top step of our podium, with Glovas, his teammate, coming through for a perfect race for Team Perfect Pace. And it's Zen in P3 with a great podium in the end. TX in 4th and Chaotica in 5th. We go back to see Fassiar in 6th place across the line. Izzy's ahead of Jonkai for 7th and 8th place. Komakopa home in 9th. Dirksey 10th. Thrasher 11th. And we have K Morris in 12th. The last one to really be decided will be Preston across the line there in 13th. Vic will come home, or already has taken the checker. But look at this for absolute dominance today. It's Captain Eli ahead of Glovas. Perfect Pace Racing once again on top. Great race from them. It's Eli ahead of Glovas, Zen and TX Speedstars in 4th. Chaotica 5th, Fassiar 6th, Izzy and Junkai rounding out the top 8. In the second half of the field, it's Komakopa, Dirksey, Thrasher, Morris, Preston and Vic. Our Saito drove our unsafety car. I don't know if the safety car in the GTD series will be similarly decorated. But that was our podium. That was our race. Thank you so much for watching. I will try and turn the stream around as quickly as I possibly can. But for now, from us here at Deviant and from me, Webbo, thank you so much for watching. We will catch you on the next race day.